She agreed as long as they would confirm that Joneswork would immediately release her personal cell phone number, which would enable Joneswork to take possession of the physical device without gaining unrestrained access to his content. Again, so frustrating that happened because, again, that's not how it works. Go to the store together. You then gave full access to the phone. She's told, oh, we're going to go out to Verizon. She's waiting at the store in Verizon to release her phone number, which she wanted to keep. 4 hours of desperate unanswered calls. She left Verizon in a panic. She realized Jones had double-crossed her in a very serious way. By refusing to release the number, Jonesworks had usurped her contact information and cut off Abel's access to critical accounts protected by two-factor authentication through the phone, FaceTime, Face ID, etc. Linked the phone number. As a result, Abel lost access to her iCloud, personal photos, messages, bank information, utilities, insurance, every other sensitive account. By contrast, Jones now had unrestricted access to everything stored in Abel's phone, text messages, personal photos, etc. This is like insane and super illegal. All of that violates California labor laws, according to Abel's employment, according to the lawsuit, which makes, honestly, a lot of sense. It's like absolutely bonkers that they were able to do this. So yeah, she's confronted with this person. She does all this stuff. And then when it gets even crazier is Melissa Nathan claims that Leslie Sloan calls her. We have call logs here coming in from previous documents that talked about this. Melissa Nathan is now suddenly called by Leslie Sloan, who gets information that clearly she only would have gotten from Jennifer Abel's phone. So they're out there sharing this stuff, which is even crazier. She calls and uses Nathan's text against her, etc. All of this just goes to haywire. All again, why? All because of Stephanie Jones, this crazy psychopath PR person who has a history of turning on her clients, from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez, Tom Brady. She's had a lot of really high-profile clients and uses that to sort of scare everybody else. When they leave her, she tries to threaten to ruin them, disparage them. So now, going through some more of this, is important. There's even more. On information and belief, Jones stewed in resentment and indignity, unable to bear the loss of another client. So she took revenge. On information and belief, Jones turned over contents of Abel's phone to Lively and her team without a subpoena, so they could slice and dice their communications to construct a false narrative about the source of Lively's bad publicity. That's clutch right there. And turning over these materials to Lively, Jones knew full well the blowback would engulf not only Abel.
This segment brings depth, diving into masculinity, influence, and the weight of responsibility. Tate doesn't shy from the heat. In fact, he steps into it willingly, using it to sharpen his point. He isn't just defending masculinity, he's reframing it. And suddenly, this isn't about being liked. It's about being understood. Piers tries to control the narrative, but Tate takes control of the philosophy. He poses questions modern culture avoids, and whether you agree or not, you're pulled in. There's boldness here, but also intention. It's a perspective many find uncomfortable, and that's exactly why it works.
But also her clients, Wayfair and Baldoni. As a result of Jones's malicious scheme, Abel's life has been turned upside down. Her career and reputation have been destroyed. Her private information leaked. Her email inbox, social media pages filled with daily stream of death threats, etc. Backlash against Wayfair, as we know, equally devastating. All of these still has her private photos and data, which Abel has every reason to believe Jones will further use to exploit to nefarious ends. Abel lives in fear of what Jones has in store for her and what other client confidences Jones is willing to divulge in her fit of pique at Abel. All this because Abel dared to leave Joneswork. This is sad, scary stuff. Like, I know we're in this a lot to look at and defend Justin, but there's other people we can't forget. It's not just Justin. It's these publicists who have now been rattled. Oh, they're doing the most awful things out there against Blake Lively. Let's look at Stephanie Jones's phone. Let's look at Leslie Sloan's phone, right? Are they as innocent as they're claiming to be? Because I don't believe they are. They're just as guilty, if not worse, right? And that's what's so hypocritical and crazy about all of this. It's absolutely nuts. Now, Jones reached out voluntarily to Lively's team, offering what she believed to be ammunition against Wayfair, wielding reams of Abel's private communications, using creativity to slice and dice, stripped of context, to create that false narrative, as we previously discussed. Embattled, Lively was licking her wounds after, obviously, all the promotional missteps, off-putting public appearances. Jones believed and was ultimately correct that Lively and her team would be willing participants in her scheme. That's why I say everybody should be mad. Even Blake Lively should be mad. I do believe, and clearly Justin's implying it, that Stephanie was doing all this to massage and get her way and to trick Blake. And Blake was willing to accept and hear anything, which is her own dumb problem, her own issues, and all of this. She fell for it.
Things slow, but they don't soften. Tate brings reflection into the arena, speaking on personal growth, media distortion, and learning through storms. It's less about conflict now and more about clarity. With calm control, he details how perception is often a weapon used against those who dare be different. Piers jabs again, but it lands like a whisper against Tate's grounded tone. It's almost philosophical, like watching a storm still itself before striking again. The message? True strength doesn't need volume. And in that quiet, Tate sounds louder than ever.
She absolutely fell for it. Now, Jones was after Jones suddenly fired Abel in the midst of this crisis, leaving Wayfair in the lurch. Communications between Jones and Wayfair broke down. Jones vacillated between insisting they only speak through lawyers and making erratic, deranged threats to sue, demanding exorbitant payment for the work not done, insisting against evidence that she was doing an amazing job. All nonsense, all craziness. This continues. Although they did not yet know how Jones had taken things, Wayfair considered her behavior to be a material breach of the agreement and advised Jones that they were terminating her agreement at the end of August. In December, they learned of the full extent of Jones's betrayal as a result of the deliberate and unlawful disclosure of their private information, which Lively's team, mind you, exploited to concoct a false and disturbing narrative about them. This is where it goes. Following the coordinated drop of Lively's fantastical civil rights complaint and explosive New York Times article, Wayfair and Baldoni became objects of public scorn and derision. He's been wrongfully labeled, these, as we know, yada, yada. But anyway, all direct result of Jones's actions on behalf of Jones' work. Now, to wrap up and sort of final thoughts here, Brian Friedman says, Stephanie Jones, founder of Jones Work, has a well-documented history of highly questionable conduct in the workplace, which the Lively parties would have seen with even the smallest amount of online research. It's true, even we saw it all. Yet they walked right into Miss Jones's ploy of bitter revenge against her most trusted employee at the expense of her own long-term client.
The finale lands like thunder. Tate wraps up not with apology, but with authority. His parting words speak legacy, respect, and intention. Piers fires his final salvos, but they bounce. Tate's calm, collected, untouchable. He isn't playing for viral moments. He's aiming for immortality. Whether you're on his side or not, you're forced to reckon with him. That's the brilliance. Controversy fades, but impact sticks. The outro feels like a mic drop without the performance. Just truth, served cold. And that's what makes it unforgettable. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.
We will not stop until our clients are cleared of all wrongdoing and compensated for the vast damages they have incurred. Now, I hope you're sitting down for the last piece I have for you, which is Jones's lawyer's response. Miss Jones's lawsuit is based entirely on facts and concrete evidence. Her lawyer says to Variety, our suit clearly shows that Jen Abel conspired with Melissa Nathan and others to steal reams of confidential documents, clients and staff, and eventually attempt to destroy the business that Miss Jones spent decades building. It sounds like Jones did that all on her own. But I digress. Abel, Nathan Baldoni, and their co-defendants attempted to achieve these outcomes through bullying, distortion, and outright disparagement. No, that's clearly what you're doing right here. These facts are backed up by dozens of messages provided in the suit we filed a month ago. You mean the ones you pick and chose and cut up and took the context out? Okay. They cannot be credibly disputed. Okay. Having no facts or evidence, we see a familiar playbook. Smear our client, culminating in the work of fiction, masquerading as the counterclaims that we were filed yesterday. Yeah, whatever. Okay, Jan. Look, at the end of the day, the bottom line is, yes, we can be mad at Blake. She's got a lot she has to atone for, no doubt. But this Stephanie Jones woman sparked the match and knew it. Maliciously sparked the match. In my opinion, I agree with this argument. She has so much she has to atone for. This is insane what she's done. I don't think anybody could have imagined how big this would ultimately turn out. And she may regret it now, but why she did her lawsuit first, because she knew she was in a lot of trouble. And so she had to come out swinging to attempt to distract and do that. So I hope we all won't get distracted and forget this woman in this. We're very invested in Justin and Blake. I get it. but we should not lose our sight of Stephanie Jones. I've actually had a lot of people reaching out, and if you have experience with Stephanie Jones, please reach out to me. I've had people that will not go on record yet, I'm working on it, who have video of her flipping out on people like in the craziest of ways. There's a lot of dirt on there out there about her. So I sense a lot of people in Hollywood are just joyously waiting for her downfall based on her own behavior. So if anybody else can talk to me on or off the record about insight, please let us know. Ex-employees at JonesWorks, anybody, reach out to us. You can hit me up on Instagram at Popcorn Planet or at Andy Signor. Let us know. I'd love to get more information. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of you, Stephanie Jones. Maybe I should be, but I've been through the fire enough, and I know I got your support. You'll have my back. Let's uncover this rock a little bit more. What do you say? Hope the rest of the sleuths out there will as well. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for all alerts, smash like, and share this one out there. Let's get the word out on this. This may not get as much attention, but it really should, because I do believe she's very involved, and justice needs to be served here as well.